All right, this is Mr. Jerdy. This is my back room. We're going to do a little bit more math. We're going to take a look at some different data displays. We're going to take a look at which ones to pick at different times and making sure you don't get tricked when you're looking at a graph, because there's a lot of deceiving data out there to make money off of you. So let's make sure we are smart here about this. Okay, just want to go through the different graphs that you probably have seen in your lifetime here. First one is a pictogram. That is where there's categories that are given and a picture of that thing is displayed for how many there are. This one just happens to be of birds and how many birds there are. Bar graph shows the categories and then how far up they go, so the amount in each of those categories. Notice that they're separate. They're separate from each other. They're not connected right next to each other. A pie graph normally listed with percents of each category. You'll notice there's a line graph here. This is normally used on stocks. That's definitely what is used in the stock market to show how things are rising and dropping each month. Here is a histogram. Probably the one that you've used the least is a histogram. Very similar to a bar graph, but you'll notice it's jammed together. And this is just numbers. Normally, histogram is just to do with numbers only. Taking a bunch of numbers and organizing them. Bar graphs can be like categories of things and then how many there are. A stem and leaf plot is very similar to like a bar graph or a pictogram. This is showing like this is the tens place. This is like there's a 10, a 1, and a 0. There's a 12, a 1, and a 2. So these are all the tens and these are all the ones place. So this would be 39. This would be 40 and 46. And it's just showing how many numbers are in the teens, how many numbers are in the 20s, in the 30s, and in the 40s. And that kind of spreads out the data. There is only one number in the 30s, 39. A box and whisker plot is used when you're finding averages and means and different things like that, and puts it onto a number line. A dot plot is very similar to a stem and leaf plot and similar to a pictogram. Another one is a scatter plot, which is what we've been started going over, and it's just another way of looking at the data. So those are reminders on what those are. Hopefully you remember from those, and we'll see which ones we need to be picking here. Let's take a look at 3 different graphs here. You need to be able to identify the appropriate graph. So identifying the appropriate data display, sometimes you'll get data and you'll need to pick which one of these to put them into. Here's something here. Let's read this right up above. You record the number of hits for your school's new website for 5 months. So it records the number of hits every month. There's 3 different ways it's displayed. You'll notice one of these really doesn't make sense. This has months and numbers of hits on those months. And you'll notice this histogram one really doesn't make sense. It doesn't tell you where August, September, November, or December are. Like, they're not here. It just doesn't make sense. These two, the bar graph and the line graph, really kind of make sense for what is happening. You can see the increase each month. You know which month is what. These are very similar. These would be good choices for this data to display it in. This would be a bad choice to display the data in, a histogram. So that's just kind of an example. If you pick the right graph, it displays the data well. If you pick the wrong data display, it can display it in a way that doesn't even make sense. Okay, now we need to make sure you don't get tricked when looking at a graph. And I have definitely been deceived when looking at a graph when I haven't been thinking about it. But here's some tips on looking at a graph. You'll notice here's 2 graphs. They're showing the same data, but one is making it look way more extreme than the other. You'll notice a little squiggly down here. This is making it evident, but people who are deceiving you aren't necessarily going to put a squiggly right here, showing that they jumped from 0 to 8. See how this starts at 0 and goes consistently up? This one does not. It jumps up and it's actually zoomed in, and it makes this look like it's going way up. It looks like it's almost doubled right here, because this is halfway up the graph and it almost reaches the top. This hasn't doubled, if you'll notice. Look how little it has gone up. For this business, I mean, it's increased a little bit, but it's not doubled its amount. Otherwise, instead of 9 billion, it'd be making $18 billion. So that's where this graph is misleading. So check your scale. If the scale is not going consistently, you've got something zoomed in that's trying to mislead you. Another one, when you're analyzing data that can be misleading, is the size they make things. You'll notice down here on this concert tickets, they made these tickets look huge, and the tickets next to them look small. But look, B and C, the choice for the tickets, looks like it doubles the size of them. But if you look, it's at 45, and then it goes up to like 52. It's only gone up $8, but they're making these look way bigger and way better than these ones. But it's just $8 because they've zoomed in. So be careful of that. The size can make it look like there's more when there's not. Okay, on this company, this person obviously was making this and trying to present it to their boss and make it look really good, and not much is happening here. So their scale looks good. They're not tricking us there. The years are consistent, looking good, but they've made each bar like wider and thicker. They're not any taller, but they are thicker, making it look like more came in, like more profit, when really it's only just a little bit more each year. So check for that, the sizes and the scale, when you're picking a good data display. Hopefully that helps you on that Google form that you'll fill out after you do this. Hope you guys have a great day. Keep working hard. It's worth it to jump in and try each day. Just do your best. Jerdy, over and out.